Hi everybody, it's Rob Flux here and my good friend Tony Meredith.
Hello.
Coming to you once again for a Sunday session. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about having a success mindset, which is quite topical because it's actually something that Tony and I some time ago put together a little bit of a jaunt, let's just say, and with a couple of day course called Psychology of Property Development, which we found was really one of the major obstacles in people actually progressing on their property development journey. Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Yep. We happen to be coming into, I guess, the next round of intake for that and our property development formula course as well. So good timing to be able to,
absolutely.
I guess, bring some of that around and talk about some of those things. So just while we're waiting for a few people to come on board, might go through a little bit of just housekeeping with some events that we've actually got coming up. So excuse me while I try to...
I can see some positive doing that. We've got some people there. I can see, g'day Michael, Vanessa, Edward's there, Shelley's there,
Shannon as well. So
hello guys, how are you? Thank you for joining.
Hello everybody. So really appreciate that. So just on those housekeeping elements, struggling.
That's all right, mate. Hang in there.
So we've got a couple of events now that we're running all around the country. We're trying to share the love and put that everywhere. And so we're running a How to Start in Property Development event in Sydney, Melbourne and in Brisbane. Mm-hmm. So in Sydney, that's going to be on the 27th of July. Mm-hmm. That's going to be immediately before the meetup at that particular location. Yep. In Melbourne, it's going to be the 3rd of August. Again, it's going to be immediately before the meetup. And in Brisbane, on the 17th of August, once again, before our meetup. So people who are wanting to learn about the property development journey and a little bit about our property development formula course, that's a great place to come and learn. Mm-hmm.
Sure is.
On top of that, we will be running our Psychology of Property Development events. We have run those multiple times. We've run them 4 times here in Brisbane. We've run them once in Sydney. Mm-hmm. What we thought is we would give Sydney and Melbourne a little bit more of a chance to get all that is Tony and I. And so we're going to run those events in Sydney on the 24th and 25th of August. Mm-hmm. And in Melbourne, we're going to run those on the 7th and 8th of September. So anyone who has any interest in any of those, what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to paste a link that's going to give you all of the event dates and that sort of thing. So if you've got any interest in any of those things at all, feel free to jump onto that link and then we will follow up with you in due course. Now, just seeing who else has come on board. Luke is on, Peter is on.
Luke. Long time no speak.
Luke's saying, looking relaxed, Tony.
Well, very relaxed.
On the couch.
I'm here, Sunday session. I'm sipping on my water with Rob. So.
On the couch, Luke, as opposed to you making the poor man stand on his front porch all after all morning.
Correct.
Yeah, watching the scenery go, boys. Luke's saying, we're looking serious. No, mate, that's just me because I can't breathe through my nose. I have a massive box of tissues that I will attempt to snort outside of microphone range. Okay. So, yeah. Who else we got? We got Adrian, we got Brenda and Lynn. So we've got almost a full house already.
We do. So maybe we start. And how did the psychology of property development come around?
Do you want the truth or the story we're telling everybody?
Go for it.
Well, it really came about when you approached me some time ago. Yeah. I guess Tony was wanting to start a career as a life coach and was reaching out to a number of people to say, hey, can I volunteer some of my coaching skills to try and get a little bit of practice and B, get a little bit of visibility out in the community and a little bit of a testimonial. So I think you got quite a big testimonial out of that one, Tony.
I did. You were the only person who said yes, right? So I asked plenty of people, and I actually shared this last night, and I shared it this morning with Luke as well. But you were the only person who said yes. I'm forever indebted for you doing that. Not sure why you did say yes. I mean, we knew each other.
Absolutely.
We weren't close, but we knew each other. But I'm forever grateful that you said yes. Obviously, we've grown a whole lot closer, since then. But it was wonderful that you did that. And then from there, I mean, it started off me, spending time coaching you directly.
Correct.
But then we kept coming up with a whole lot of opportunities for your network.
Yeah, and the most common thing, and I'd been running weekend courses for quite some time, and teaching people the how-to. And the how-to, a lot of people go to courses, they get inspired, but they don't know the how-to. So they kept coming to me and saying, how do I? So we did the how do I. And at the end of that, they were still saying, well, I'm afraid to pull the trigger, or I can't do it because I've got no money. And it was all these limiting beliefs that the 6 inches between your two ears were holding them back.
That's it.
And so Tony and I hatched a plan, which was to come up with the Psychology of Property Development program, and to incorporate that as step one into our Property Development Formula 12-month program, and to make sure that we actually had a life coach, being Tony, to make sure that we activated people appropriately on the journey, and making sure that they're actually taking the right actions. And when they were taking the right actions, then they could lean on me as the mentor to make sure that those actions were actually getting the right amount of traction. Yeah,
and for those who don't know me, so I'm a property developer as well. So it's not like I'm just some random who's rocked up into this space. I actually develop my own properties. I've got 2 projects that I'm currently in. One I've been in far too long. The other one is going well. So I do have an understanding of the process. Not that I want to position myself as the expert in that regard, but I do understand how it all works, and I've got skin in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And to complete the loop, it was actually myself who introduced Tony to his joint venture partner that actually started the journey.
Correct.
So
we did.
So I helped you on your property journey, and you're helping me on this journey.
Correct.
And so I guess the circle is now complete.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. And so when people come along to the Psychology Weekend, what can they expect?
Well, I guess it's the whole point of it is we set it in a property context, but it can be applied in all sorts of ways inside your life. But the intent there is that we want to try and get you to actually unlock some of your limiting beliefs, to recognize that where other people have done things, you too can also do things. That the lack of resources that you may have is a fact, but what you do with that really comes about how resourceful you can become. And you say, well, how do I actually achieve the goals that I'm wanting to achieve, given the limited resources that I've got? And how do we think creatively in actually doing that? And I guess there's a whole bunch of processes that we go through to do that. We won't reveal all of those right here and now, but I guess one of them is we go through and we work out your why. Why are you actually in the process to start with? And then we also try to work out what are your goals, and we have a prioritization process where we work out whether those goals are truly goals or whether or not they're fantasies. And a lot of people actually are holding on to fantasies that they think are their goals, but when they actually try to break it down, they don't really stand up.
Yeah, well, there's two key questions. So the first key question is in regards to goals is what do you want? But the other question is what are you prepared to sacrifice? And so if I think back to my journey around getting up at 4 a.m., having a full-time job, sacrificing time with my family for years, that's what I was prepared to sacrifice. And I'm not suggesting that people follow my lead, but you do need to ask yourself, what am I prepared to sacrifice as much as what do I want? Because, the majority of people who come into this do have a job of some sorts, looking to potentially, escape their job, transition into property development full-time. You do need to sacrifice things. You're going to need to sacrifice your personal time. You're going to need to sacrifice perhaps going on as many holidays, et cetera, et cetera. You do need to really challenge yourself. Am I prepared to give up on those things short-term for the medium-term benefit that is property development success?